We've been encouraging all of you to play a game where you take some subjects. For Esther, it's blue glass feathers and butterflies because of something that happened in a telephone consultation years ago. So those 3 subjects were activated in Esther's vibration. And then Jerry and Esther went off to lunch at George's in La Jolla. And within the next less than 2 hours, all 3 of those things showed up in their experience in such flamboyant, ridiculously obvious ways. A wall of blue glass like she'd never even imagined before. And then a flurry of butterflies so intense that they had to stop talking to keep from eating them and to keep them out of their eyes. It was just intense. It was like a butterfly attack. And then a little boy that they didn't know running from way across the way and handing Esther a feather. In other words, it was amazing how fast the universe could bring to them evidence of vibration that they held at the tipping point with no resistance. And so the other day, Esther was enjoying a game like that with some of her friends. They picked a whole bunch of items and they were off roaming around the Caribbean, letting the universe deliver to them these far-fetched things that they'd put on their list, obscure things that none of them had any resistance about. And then Esther started noticing that just the way her thoughts were connecting were new. It's like she was in such a place of receptivity that just small pondering on something. And then she had the thought, just a very soft thought, I hope you're having as much fun with us as I'm having with us. She's thinking to Jerry. And the song comes into her mind, I'll be watching you. Every move you make, I'll be watching you. Well, that was a translation of Esther, of a very specific vibration that Jerry projected. In other words, he felt it, he thought it, he held it in his bag, and because Esther was in the vicinity, she got it. In other words, that's how this communication between physical and non-physical happens. There's no barrier, there's no barricade. The other day, Esther was having a sort of uncomfortable experience. She couldn't communicate with this person. And she wondered, is this a cultural barrier? Is it a language barrier? Is it a vibrational barrier? What is keeping this from happening? And we say it's always a vibrational barrier, which can then be further explained in other ways, but it's always and only ever a vibrational barrier. Your bags of marbles just aren't lining up. We know this sounds weird. You're a very patient group, and you're weird, you know? You just are. You're actually considering with reasonable awareness the existence of the non-physical and your ability to communicate with it. You're accepting your relationship with it, which is a wonderful thing because it's the only way you ever find your true power, your true guidance system. That's essential. Without doing that, you can never find yourself. You can never find who you really are. You could stay in a box and you can kid yourself like most humans do by pretending like this is the weird stuff and that blocked off, disconnected is the real stuff. But once you start having the real stuff all mixed and mingled in, there is nothing more delicious than to be physically focused and fully connected to that non-physical awareness and understanding. It is what you all knew would be your experience.